on that, and then you can scroll down to whichever operating system that you're running on. So even if you have Linux or Ubuntu in this case, which is another distro, this will also install that as well. You can open up a terminal in Ubuntu and just use this command, to get it installed and running on your system. But if you have a Mac OS or Windows operating system, you want to click and download that. I'm not going to actually go ahead and do all of that since I've already have it here. But now, once you do that, then you will see this. This is the Imager. So the Imager allows you to take this, you can select basically any part of the distro or operating system, quote unquote, if you want to, and then use it, like I said, Media Player OS. You can use it as a general purpose OS, the actual Raspberry Pi OS, etc., etc. So there's multiple purposes for using a Raspberry Pi. But today we're going to use the Raspberry Pi OS other, and then we have the 64-bit. This is a 64-bit machine. Basically, that just means that the motherboard suggests that you use anything 64-bit instead of the 32-bit. So right now I'm just going to click on that and then choose storage. So I'm going to actually mount this and connect this device to my computer so that it's basically running the software off of this. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back.
Many months later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Alright, so I have my microSD installed on my USB drive here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that so that this operating system can be basically imaged and installed and written on the Raspberry Pi. When I insert the micro SD card into the Raspberry Pi device, and I'll go ahead and set that up. So basically we want to, just to go over it again, if you have a 64-bit, be sure to check the compatibility of the type of Raspberry Pi that you do have. So if you're using Raspberry Pi 3, 4, or 400, which I have the Raspberry Pi 4 here, you want to go ahead and click on the Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit. All right, and that'll be your operating system. So when you get into storage, you definitely want to take out the micro SD card, put it into a regular SD card adapter, and basically, just put it in a micro SD converter or some type of writer or reader rather, and that way you can use that as the storage, and then it'll simply write all the information that you need. There's nothing on this card, so you can just avoid all that and just press continue while everything is being written on the Raspberry Pi SD, well, I should say just the micro SD card. Oh, we got an error. Hold on 1 second here. Wonder why it is not. Okay. Why is it not writing? Let's see here. All right, let's try that again. Preparing to write. It's writing something now, and we're still getting an error. So why the error? Let's go ahead and check that out. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. This is actually pretty good. So we can go ahead and say like Raspberry Pi error when writing to card. A lot of times, you know, different people have, you know, the similar issues, so you can always find something on you know, just doing a quick search or whatever. Somebody's probably you know, have already changed that, but you know, it could also be the SD card itself. Maybe it is because it's locked. We can try that. Alright, so, and all I did was take out the SD card here, and there's a small little tab that you can actually press down on to unlock it. And that's basically locking or unlocking the data that's on here. So I'm gonna try that and see if that works. Alright, let's try that again. So now I just unlocked it, and we're gonna try it again and see how this goes. Oh, well, look at that. It didn't. All because of the little tab. What it was is because it was locked. Alright? So that little tab on the SD card, the SD adapter that the micro SD card came with, basically it was locked. So you, mind you, take that little tab, unlock it so that it can write information onto the SD card to the micro SD card. And then once this is done, you want to take the micro SD card out of the adapter and then put the micro SD card into the Raspberry Pi. But luckily for you that the information will be on the Raspberry Pi, or on that micro SD card on the Raspberry Pi device. So I'm gonna just wait for this to finish, and hopefully there's no more errors, and we can get on to the setup part. So I'll be right back.
One eternity later.
Alright, so right now we're at the beginning stage of the Raspberry Pi desktop. So right now, before we do a few things to set up, we gotta press next to get started. So I'm gonna press next, and then here we're going to select a country. So right now I'm going to just choose United States, and also the time zone, which will be Eastern. So we're on the East Coast, and then you know, if you can go ahead and you know, before you press next, just go ahead and click the use English language and keyboard. Go ahead and press next. Just wait for this. Alright, so this is important. Right here, we're just going to create a username and password. This is just use something like, yeah. Alright, here we go. Yeah, this is important because on the Raspberry Pi, you'll be able to use like PowerShell from your personal computer to through Wi-Fi. So you want to have these credentials is basically what I mean. And then you know, you can use that to basically do a remote access to the Raspberry Pi. So that's basically all it will create. But once you create your user account to log into the Raspberry Pi, pretty much everything else is will be updated as long as you have access in these credentials. So all right, next we're gonna press next. We really don't need that right now, but you can always go back and change the settings and stuff like that. Now as far as the Wi-Fi, I'm not going to really fiddle around with that right now, so I'm gonna just go ahead and skip that. Alright, and then update software, don't really need to worry about that right now since we don't have the Wi-Fi on. And now I'm gonna go ahead and hit restart for the Raspberry Pi, and we should be able to see the Raspberry Pi desktop. Just give it a few seconds. And voila, we have the Raspberry Pi desktop. As I mentioned earlier, it kind of resembles a little bit like if you're used to Ubuntu, but it pretty much has the similar, desktop. Well, basically, it is I think it's based off of Debian OS, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is the Raspberry Pi, the official Raspberry Pi desktop. And as you can see here, there's a number of pre-installed programs that you can use, for programming, the internet, sounds, and video. As you might be familiar with VLC Media Player, which is pretty much an open source media player. There's graphics to view images or whatever. Accessories, you have all of your accessories that you can use. Even a popular terminal that you can open up and use Linux commands in this box. So for instance, sudo apt install, let's do Blender. And then well, since I don't have the Wi-Fi installed, I'll just hit yes anyway. But as you can see, it's yeah, it's basically up and running. So once you get Wi-Fi or the internet pretty much happening here, pretty much everything else is, this is the entire OS. So you do what you want with it and have fun with your new Raspberry Pi. Once again, I have the Raspberry Pi 4, and if you like more information, you can check out the official website. And I'll also have more videos, featuring the Raspberry Pi and seeing what we can do with it. But this is the JMath Tech official walkthrough for the Raspberry Pi setup. So, and then there'll probably be some other tutorials along with that. So be sure to check out for that. Once more, thanks again for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. For you new subscribers out there, I really do appreciate it. And I'll be sure to upload some more videos coming your way. Until next time, see ya.